Ready?
I'm ready.
Ready? Let's do it. Hey, how you guys doing out here? James Humphrey with another episode of Real Talk with Real Men. I got my guys with me, Hatch, and I got Griff with me. And today we are talking about red flags.
Right.
Red flags.
Red flags.
Not just in women, in people in general. People in general.
I don't know if there's other kind of red flags.
There's some red flags in friends that become bitch niggas. You know, so you know what I mean? Me personally, I only have like 3 like big red flags.
Mm.
My first one is timing.
Mm.
I cannot stand people that are late. I can't stand it when they make me waiting. I don't like people waiting on me. So if I need to be somewhere, I'm like, I need to hurry up and get my ass there or whatever.
That's true.
And so I usually don't hang around people whose timing is just very, very loose.
Right.
You know what I mean? Second red flag is people that can't get over their past. Like, I can't be around people or hang out with people or date people who are constantly talking about or can't get over things that happened in their past.
Right,
you know what I mean? If I ask them a question, it's like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. It's too troubling. I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, how can we not have a conversation
They tell you about their trauma.
Yeah, you know what I mean? How can we not have a conversation about that?
Instagram shit.
Or if they can't shut the hell up about it. It's like, if we're not even talking about that particular whatever it is and they just bring it up constantly, it's like, okay, I need you to like let that go.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And then my final one is I can't be around people that aren't bettering themselves in some sort of way.
Mm.
It's like, if you don't like a situation, if you don't like this, whatever, that's fine. But I need you thinking of a way to better it. You know what I mean? So it could be with weight. You know, I'm trying to get in the gym, get slimmer. It could be with, you know, a skill set. It could be with anything. It's just I need you not being in the same spot you were last year.
Right.
You know, I need you improving in some sort of thing.
Right.
Those are my 3 biggest ones.
I can do that.
Just a general thing.
Yeah, just a general. That's between women, men, friends,
Right.
whatever, all
I can
together.
do that.
General riff. And now there's many other when it comes to women and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? But
Right.
you
That's
know,
a separate episode.
yeah, that's for a separate episode.
Well, first, she got eyes and shit. She can see. That bitch can see. That's a flag. Nah, man, what you?
Man, I agree with a lot of what you said. You want to be around people that can help you better yourself. Like, you don't want, they say the 5 people you hang around, dictates the type of person you are. So you want to be around people that stimulate you intellectually and encourage you to grow. Sometimes they can, say things that might hurt your feelings. Sometimes be blunt. At least me, I prefer people to be blunt. Like, don't sugarcoat shit. Like, tell me it might hurt, it might sting, but at least for me, I'm the type of person that's gonna think about it like, damn, maybe that was right. Don't sugarcoat it for me. I know when it comes to women, sometimes it's hard to do. You can't really have to have a more delicate touch, but I kind of have that problem. I've had to learn over the years. You kind of have to sugarcoat a little bit, and even then, you might have to throw another bag of sugar on it because it's still too hard. But that's the type of person I want to be around. Especially my woman, she needs to be able to stimulate me in some way, and I need to be able to stimulate her. Obviously, I'm gonna do that. So. And just friends in general, just hang around people that, that ain't here and you up here. They're just going to bring you down. They're going to be crabs in a barrel, So, yeah, I agree with you, man. That's pretty much
So that's actually the opposite of people better than stuff. You say you want people to help stimulate you. I think that's pretty good. No, I mean, it's still the same. Well, I guess it is the same thing. Yeah. Kind of same thing. In reverse, whatever.
I would say, one, I can't stand people. As far as my red flags, I can't stand people who can pitch but can't catch. Like, I think the biggest way of being a bitch, bitch nigga, bitch whatever, just weak, is where you can throw out a whole bunch of shit, but when people kick it back to you, you want to say, like, damn, you hurt I hate that. Shut the fuck up if you can't receive it back when somebody give you what you giving off. I can't stand a man that yell, but like my woman can't yell. I can't stand a person who criticizes but don't want to be criticized. That's cowardly to me. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to give out what you can also be able to receive, or don't give it out, because that's called self-control. Secondly, I would be like, red flag, I can't stand a person me and you've discussed this before. I can't stand a person who sets an expectation for themselves and they fall under it. But then, I guess what I'm simply saying, my biggest red flag to encompass everything I'm about to say is I can't stand a hypocrite. Okay. I don't like a hypocrite. I don't like a person who puts an expectation into the world but don't hold themselves to it. You know what I mean? Because grace, all of us need, right? Ain't no person on this planet that ain't never been in a pocket that they didn't need grace. But I can't stand a motherfucker when it's time to give grace. They be like, nah, I ain't got, because you up now. That's weak nigga shit to me. Because you not always going to be up and they ain't always going to be down. What's I was saying? You don't see the same motherfucker going up the ladder you see going down the ladder. Mm-hmm. That's just the circle of life. You know what I mean? And probably my biggest red flag is a person who operates from a different standard for others than they do for themselves. That's my biggest red flag. That's dating, that's friendship in general. I can't stand a motherfucker who be like, damn, you be drinking, drunk ass, but then do cocaine. Bitch, you got me fucked up. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would piss me off.
You know
that would piss me the fuck off.
People, you blow an eighth of weed a day, but me sipping. You know what I'm saying? Well, them drugs though, right? I can't stand. I just don't like hypocrisy. That's my biggest red flag is hypocrisy. I can't stand hypocrisy and I think we do it a lot when we're young because we don't expect to get old. But then when you get old, right? That's when you go over your life and be like, that's why these motherfuckers don't come visit me at the home, right? Yeah, give you a piece of shit right there. Right? And so I can't stand hypocrisy. I don't like it.
That's a big one. I agree wholeheartedly with that, man. I can't stand that. People need to hold themselves accountable, man. Yeah. When you fuck up or, just like, damn, my bad. Like, you don't know how that makes other people around you respect you when you say, I fucked up. Even as a man, especially, like, you know what, my bad. It doesn't matter who's even coming from. Like, it could be my kid, it could be my wife. Like, my bad, that was my mistake. You know,
straight up.
I'm not gonna cast the blame on somebody.
Here's a hard question to answer. Can you get rid of red flags?
On someone else?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't change other people.
Well, this is true. But can you change your perspective of people?
Fuck no. My bad. For me, fuck. Once that's locked in, until you get to know them better, because you could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason why I asked this question.
Honestly, I think 7 out of 10 times people just get the wrong perception of a person. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what usually happens. But that 3 out of 10, if that is who they, fuck no. If that nigga a thief, he a thief. Like if he a lie, he a lie. That's pretty much what that's gonna be, right? Mm-hmm. Like so, either you adjust to that flag and deal, or you got to get out of there.
It's a red flag for a reason, though.
That's real. It's
that's a red flag.
So if it's triggering for you, they're not going to change. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in people changing. We've talked about that plenty of times. I don't believe people change.
I agree with that.
Yeah, people don't change.
I think to the core of your human nature, you are who you are. You evolve and mature.
Come on, brother. I say that all the time, brother. And we ain't talking like 15 years. I tell people, and they get mad at me. I say a person can evolve to a different version of that. They don't change it, bro. That's who you are.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. Let's be real about it. As real men with real talk, let's be real about it. Mm-hmm. What are our red flags that we know that we need to change?
So what us?
Yeah. Personally?
Yeah. So we do it. I don't care what he do.
Yeah. I'll tell you my number one red flag.
Okay.
I am the captain of Save a Hose.
Okay. That's your number one red flag?
That's my number one red flag.
Okay.
I'm very, very naive when it comes to stuff. Because we talked about this last episode where I don't really have a street life. I haven't really been out there to experience a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to running in there without thinking, even when I know I think through a lot,
sure,
is a fucking red flag for me.
So are you saying that a red flag for you is being a sucker for pussy?
Not just being a sucker for pussy, but just being...
You said Captain Save-A.
Well, yeah. Well, mainly pussy, but even with friends, even when it comes to friends.
Well, every man's a sucker with pussy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, even with friends.
Right.
You gotta save that one friend that you know is going down a path that you can't follow.
That's fair. But I mean, that's your friend. I don't know if that's a red flag.
I would consider it a red flag. Okay. Eventually, because even if you talk to anybody else about it, it's like, dude, you need to cut that cord.
Right. If we talking honest, I think you seeing that as a red flag is a red flag.
There it is.
Personal. I think you seeing that as a red flag.
So maybe looking at myself negatively is a red flag.
I think that's the red flag. If that's your friend, that's your friend.
Yeah.
You look. I'm gonna check out for my friends regardless. We sink or swim together. If that's my friend, I'm going with my friend. I don't give a fuck if he a dope head. I'm gonna get him either to rehab. Hear me out. What I'm saying is just me. If that's my friend, if we're calling each other friends, and because as you get older, you know that circle gets smaller and smaller. From death to reality, and really learning how snakish and deceitful people are. Bro, like a person being a drug addict or having an issue ain't as bad as they look you in the face and lie to you, sleep with your wife, you know what I'm saying, steal from you. I can deal with a person that got problems. If that's my friend, I'm gonna look out for my friend. I'm supposed to do that. That ain't a red flag, in my opinion. Thinking that's a red flag would be a red flag. Pussy, that's pussy. I mean, we all going, come on, that's
Here's the thing, let's be real. Okay,
that's amazing.
You guys don't have to say your red flag, but can you change them? Can you say, hey, this is a problem within myself, but you guys have that mindset of, I'm not changing, or people can't change, they can evolve and all these other things. But is it true that people can't change? I think people can change. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe people can change. I think people can see.
You gonna say your red flag? You say you were gonna say
one.
I can see.
I was gonna say something what you just said, but before I forget,
I'm almost done. I can see where people can say, "Hey, this is a problem for me. It's a red flag that people are saying. I need to fix it." You know, can people do that?
That's real.
Well, I got this philosophy called the 3 I's.
Okay, let's hear it.
Isolation, introspection, and improvement. You have to isolate yourself so you don't have no distractions around you.
That's
Sometimes being alone, being single, whatever, living by yourself, whatever. And, introspection, meaning you have to look inside yourself to discern what the problem is and be like I said, accountability, like, damn, I'm always fucking this up. I'm always doing this wrong. I need to get better at this. That's where the introspection comes in. And then the improvement is the solution. And then that's how you come on top. You have to have all 3 of those intact in order to improve. So if you see that red flag and you can do those 3 I's, then maybe it's something you can conquer. If not, then it's just who you are. Because I know some people just mentally just fucked. It's just who they are. Like in my line of work, I see people with behavior issues, with mental issues. It's such a thin line. Like some of these things some people are, they've been locked up for so long. What they call institutionalized. They ain't never gonna change. You can't argue with people like, oh, I don't give a fuck, fuck. Like you can't talk to these people and try to change their mind. They're just set in their ways. It's like a steel pole. They don't bend. So some things, red flags, it's just who they are. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But and speaking of that, for me, I would say one of mine is the fact I'm extremely cynical when it comes to people. I don't trust nobody. You know what I mean? Okay. Obviously, there's a very small circle I have. I don't have a whole bunch of friends. I never did. That's because I just don't fuck with people like that. I'm introvert. I don't really trust people. And in my line of work, I'm getting people try to manipulate me every single day. So I've become even more cynical over time. It's kind of bad. It kind of fucks you up because you just don't.
No, that's how life wants you to be.
Exactly. But you kind of have to be, or you get taken advantage of or manipulated. So it's like, I noticed it, same with the women. Like, the female cops have to be more bitchy because if they're like, sir, they get trampled over. So they kind of same problem with military women. They probably, you have to be a certain way, and it fucks you up. You know what I mean? So for me, I'd say I'm extremely cynical. I don't trust nobody, and I had to learn to soften that. And because in order for me to open up to more people, I kind of have to. But at the same time, I'm still withdrawn, so I could protect myself. It's like a defense mechanism. So I'd say that's probably one of mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I respect that, man. But at least you see that it's a problem. You see that it's here, and then you want to take it, throw it here, but you're like,
exactly.
You put it back here.
Exactly.
Different experiences create red flags.
Right.
And we understand that with people, with us, whoever. Oh, actually, did you want to go with yours, or you skip it?
No, I'll go.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you straight. I think my biggest red flag is that I don't know what red flags are, because I think you helping friends and bitches, I love doing that. I like, if I see, I'm single, you know what I'm saying? I'm divorced. If I see a bitch that I like and she treat me nice and I can help her, absolutely, because, she got a vagina and she like me. And I think that makes sense. My friends, but how I feel about my friends. I would go hard from, that's just, I come from that stock that if we together, we together. Regardless, if you ever call me, you need it, I'm going to come through if I can. That's just how I'm built. Once I say I'm with you, I'm with you. Cynical, Hell yeah. Like you should be. I don't see that. So what I'm saying is clearly I don't know what red flags are. Because I think both of those are qualities. Yeah. So if these are red flags, my red flag is I don't know what the fuck a red flag is.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you not see, I don't want to say do you not see a problem with yourself, but do you see yourself
I got plenty of problems.
Do you see yourself falling in traps that you know you shouldn't do?
No, 100%. I think that one of my red flags, what I think a red flag is. So I think helping people isn't. I think being, because cynical is essentially being realistic and being conscious of the situation. I think that's a quality. These are qualities. My red flag is when I get frustrated, I yell. I'm a yeller. And yelling don't work. To me, that's a legitimate red flag. That's sober or drunk, right? If I get in a pocket where I got my mind made up and a person is either actively not agreeing on purpose or just because they're misinformed, that shit'll start pissing me off. Once I explain it 3 times and the person be like, just don't see it, I'll fuck around. I'll start, and that is a red flag.
You don't have much patience.
I have a patience issue.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a red flag. Like, for me, and I work on it. I work on it constantly. And the crazy part is I can have patience for those things that I love a lot, like my sons. Yeah. Patience out the ass. For other people, maybe not as much. Yeah. But then I have to think, like with my son, a junior, his mother, I have to constantly think to myself, be patient with her because she made him. And I know his love for her. So I always go through that thing in my mind, right? So I think that's my big, and I'm still working on it. So I don't think that's change. I think that's evolution because I don't have to yell. But that's my biggest red flag is that when I get impatient, my reaction is problematic to the solution. That's probably my red flag.
Okay. As real men, how do we deal with red flags?
Your own or others?
I want to say others. Let's start with others because we kind of touched on dealing with our own. How do we deal with other red flags?
Easy. Some people you fuck with, some people you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
That's been the whole show. Is that on a position our show? Do you watch this show? Are you watching this? Is this not what I say every episode?
That kind of is what the simplified version of it. You know, is more or less like.
My bad for cutting you off, but that's
I mean, it is.
You know, when you run into people that you see it coming. You see it coming. You think, okay, I don't want to fuck with this person. Yeah. But there are times where you kind of have to fuck with them though.
When?
Like what?
Work?
You mean like realistically? Okay.
Yeah, realistically.
You can't like, oh, I'm just gonna quit this job and get another one tomorrow. Like,
well, actually, then again, there are people like that though.
That's true. Yeah,
but realistically, people ain't doing that shit.
But
like,
is that fucking with them? That's tolerating. Yes, we all.
Okay, so how do we tolerate with red flags? Because I mean, you all three of us had women that we loved very, very dearly that had banners, red banners. You know what I mean?
It's beaming red, flashing light.
Yeah,
like, nah.
You know,
I ain't gonna lie to you.
They were dripped from head to toe in blood red. You know what I mean?
Hey Jay, I thought I was at the circus. I didn't know any better. I probably still give him another go. I ain't gonna lie to you. No. But no. But how do you do it? My bad. Go ahead. You said how do you deal with
it? We know we can avoid it. How do we tolerate it?
We tolerate it.
I think it depends on the person, man. Like, if it's like your child or your wife or somebody, that's a little different than somebody who you can just minimize your time with. Like, I don't have to be around you. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
Like, I'll give you an example. You got a baby mama where unfortunately you stuck dealing with her because you share a child and you have to interact until the child is old enough where he got their own cell phone and car and I ain't got to talk to you ever again. Yeah. But you still got to kind of deal with that person. So you just minimize communication as much as possible because I fucking hate mine, you know? But I still have to interact with her. I know I'm coming to pick up my son or this is going on. Important things, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So other than that, I mean, where if it's your actual wife that lives with you or your child, you know, the red flags, I guess, I mean, you just kind of have to adapt. I mean, if you love that person enough and care about them, like you said, you have more patience for somebody like that because you care about them. Whereas somebody you have no emotional attachment or bond to, you like, you know, I'm gonna keep this as small as possible. Right? 100%. It's short. Keep it short.
100%.
Yeah. I find it because obviously I said my third one is they have to be self-improving. You know, always self-improve. So it's like when you come to somebody, it's like, hey man, you got this little issue that's kind of bothering, you know, me, it's bothering, you know, some people. It's like, can you fix that, change that? No, you can go fuck yourself. So there's like, okay, that's cool, but it's still an issue. You know what I mean? And so it's
talking about with that person?
Yeah, with that person. So it's like, how do you navigate around something that you know is inevitable, but you don't want it to happen? Because even with you said that your friends are your friends, whatever. You know, if they need something. But I mean, it gets to a point where it's taken advantage of. You know what I mean? I think that's more or less what I meant by my first.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So and I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So from there, it's like, as real men, we have to be able to see the red flags, and not so much. And for me, I don't say so much as avoid the red flag. I just feel like we should deal with it. You know what I mean?
Well, and I could think to his position, you know, with his line of profession and with me being a firefighter for a decade, it, like, paramilitary is paramilitary, right? Mm-hmm. Let's be clear. My friends are my friends. So there's no if they do. If that's my friend, that's my friend. So we're always gonna look out, regardless. From the trench to the grave, like from the dig to the sea, like we're going to be with each other. If that ever compromises, that was never my friend, and instantly that becomes my foe. This isn't a hard way to functionality on life, right? Like there's three main things that we know we won't do. We won't betray each other. We'll always look out for each other, right? We'll always understand each other. As long as we can do those three things, and betrayal being the top, then we always gonna be friends. Once one of those things, it's like a tough piece of like garment, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can't rip that shit, right? Like a piece of like garment. But if I put a cut in it, that bitch will rip instantly. If my friend allows a cut or any kind of invasion to come to that fabric, then you wasn't my friend. Mm-hmm. Like for me, that's how I live my life. So that's easy for me to differentiate. If you allow something like betrayal to occur between us, then you're not my friend. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna be like, well, damn, bro, why you do? I don't talk like that. Like you said, real talk with real men. I'm not a 17-year-old boy. I'm a 35-year-old man. If you betray me, we're not friends, and we never were. And that's how I'm gonna function with you for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. The job taught me that. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. As long as we don't betray each other, as long as we always can hear each other out, we can function, right? As long as we look out. Like, yeah, we might every once in a while be like, fuck you, bitch ass. We might have a disagreement. That's gonna happen. We human, right? Yeah. But as long as those three things aren't compromised, that's my friend. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like I don't think there's ever a thing where I have to, well, how do you deal with that with shit like that? Because those are my three cornerstones. As long as those three cornerstones are never compromised, we don't have to talk for a year. That's still gonna be my friend. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, wholeheartedly, man. Trust is something number one, you earn. Number two, once it's lost, it's like a broken glass, like broken vase. You can glue that bitch back together. It ain't gonna never be
compromised. That's a fact.
Yeah,
it's compromised. I
wholeheartedly agree. You always got that in the back of your head, you know. It's like I never understand why people take people back who cheat. You know what I mean? Like, number one, I'm always gonna be. I'm saying I'm putting myself in that position. Like, I'm always gonna be thinking, you know, where's she at? Where is he? What's she doing? You know, blah blah blah. You know, you always gonna have that back in your mind. You know, she really at work, or you know, that's just something you can't get back. You know, so yeah.
I'm starting to run out of questions.
That's all good. I think you're flowing well, man. I think I think sometimes too when we think red flags, relationship wise or friendship wise, I think sometimes we overlook what it is, because this is what, we talk about this all the time, especially with something like red flags. I think that's the perfect topic. We never speak honestly as men how that shit makes us feel. And so I think that's why we always put these parameters with how we deal with people, right? Like when you talk about what your gig, like I know what you up to, so I'm cynical. Well, you cynical because you want people to be genuine. You want people to be genuine because you genuine. Right. You like, dude, you know you broke the line, you're goddamn goofy. Just get in the core. He like, nah, right? You like, bro, don't do this to me. I'm just here to do it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And like we talk all the time, like it's the inability to be real. Mm-hmm. That always puts, and then that leads to anxiety issues, that leads to you being, and that with work, that then transcribes itself to other aspects of your life. And usually with good men, that's why we're able to be phenomenal fathers, terrible partners when it comes to women. That's why we're able to, because the first real genuality you experience, unless you marry like your high school sweetheart or you find that perfect woman, your real first genuine interaction, if you're lucky, maybe your parents, but your first real genuine interaction as a man is your kid. Like that motherfucker really like you. Mm-hmm. So like when you chilling, you on some goof shit, it's just like, boy, you dope. You know what I mean? You're just like
you're a hero.
You see what I'm saying? And that's your first. Now imagine. Now think about that. And this is what I try to tell women all the time. And we talk about red flags, and they talk about us having, being what's they trifecta: manipulator, gaslighter, narcissist. I think that's what they do.
Like
that's usually what they let us say. I know, bro. Don't throw up. I know. Don't throw up. So we think red flags. Imagine being a man your whole life until you become an adult man and you have a child. You really never felt somebody love you just for you. Like your parents took care of you, whatever. But a lot of us had fucked up childhood with our, parents too. And I'm not saying women didn't, but I'm saying a lot of us had kind of those weird dynamics with our parents, right? With the childhood.
Yeah.
And so like the first time you really got to experience that was with your kid, where it's like, no, I just like you for you.
Right.
And so then you have a conversation with a shorty and she was like, I had bad childhood too. Yeah, bitch, but you wasn't 9 playing pee-wee football, and because a motherfucker hit me and I cried, my uncle and my daddy said I was a bitch. You didn't experience that like I did, right? And my mama cheering, but she like, yeah, he is kind of. Do you know what they like the experience?
That's my baby though.
Yeah, that's my baby. Maybe he should do something different. And they like, no, I don't need to do that different. I just cried. I'm dying. If you didn't experience that,
right?
You sure? Right. And then they wonder what they do to us. That is the toughest part a lot of times, especially being a man, period, but especially a black man, because I only speak from my experience. We've always been based on, from around the age of 5 until now, what you can execute. What do you provide? What's your potential? Right? What is it that you afford us? Bro, that's a lot of fucking pressure when you hit your 30s, and that's been your whole life, bro.
It's funny you brought that up. Like, as a man, we are always expected to perform and provide, which, it's what we're meant to be here for, mm-hmm. But we always have the burden of productivity. Like, you always have to put out, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whereas it might not be so much for women, but for us, we always expect it to be this, and we can never be here. We can't be an emotional, or you always gotta hide that shit. You in pain or mental health, emotional health. You gotta just fucking just take it, keep it inside. You know what I mean?
And that's a red flag.
You have to say, would we even call that a red flag?
Hell yeah! James, me and you argue about yes, brother.
Yeah.
That's not healthy, bro. Not. Listen.
Hold on though.
Okay.
So is this a red flag on the woman as well? Because that's in her nature.
It's nature. For both sides, it's natural.
No, it's a red flag for her to do that to us. That is a red flag. A person that you can't just be you, and that's not just with her, but your friends. If a man can't just experience life, the fuckers who don't let you do it, that's a red flag.
Okay.
In my opinion.
But I don't blame her because, like I said, it's natural. Like, she wants a protector. She wants somebody. She's like, why do I have you if you can't be the Superman? And then whenever you show weakness, naturally, even if she doesn't want to feel that way, she's like, man, this nigga. Like say you're at a bar or something and somebody grabs her ass and you just stands there and not do anything to about. You know what I mean? And in the back of her mind, she might not say anything about it. Back of her mind, she lost respect for you.
I'm like that you brought me, man. At first, brother, I missed you. I'm like, and I'm with you. I like what you just said. Hey, because you supposed to protect that woman.
Yeah, she lost respect for you,
and she should, right? Yeah. You're supposed to protect her, right?
But it's not wrong for her to feel that way. It's natural.
Absolutely, I think it is.
It's fucked up, but it's natural.
No, but I think it is because at the end of the day, regardless if you win, lose, or draw, mix that shit up a little bit. I'm with you. I have no issue with that.
At least I got my baby.
I'm for you. I want to slide with you. Hey, but you know what I got to do?
I'm icing your eye.
But I tried. But you know what I got to do in this society in 2023? I got to accept that she that sucked 43 dicks before we're 40. But I'm supposed to be cool with that though, right?
Yeah.
Nah, but that's what I'm supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Because hey, it's her body, her choice.
Oh man, you on a whole other beast right now.
Okay, I know. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. You see, ain't that funny how that works?
I'm with you.
So now I'm supposed to accept her walking down this aisle with a white dress and we 36. Yeah. And I know she lying. At best, she should be in burgundy. At best.
In burgundy. This is brown,
it's a brownish kind of a teal, maybe a teal.
Yeah.
But I gotta accept her, right? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, don't judge her. But I'm supposed to be a traditional man, being able to protect her, provide for her.
Right.
But she don't have to hold her pussy in check.
Yeah, it's funny.
Ain't that funny?
It's like when they say, when it comes to bodies, men lie about their bodies. They say they have more than when women lie. They say they have less. Mm-hmm. I like how J. Cole said, just multiply by 3, whatever they say.
Straight up.
I don't even ask.
So we're labeling all this as red flags, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
how do we deal with that? As real men, how do we deal with that? Because how we've been dealing with it is not the greatest.
I wouldn't, you know, man, John, you know my position on that, bro. The way we've been dealing with, the way we've been dealing with it, my bad. All right. The way we've been dealing with it is we just let shorties get off whatever the fuck they want to get off because we so busy trying to be politically correct. The reality is that either we deal with all people in a holistic view of just being human, or we deal back to traditional values. Like, it's either one or the other. Either we deal with everybody gonna be human, so you might date the cat that don't want to fight. That might happen. Like, he don't want to be in no mixy. So if something happens, you got to leave when he ready to leave. Because his job is to protect you. Protection don't always mean he got to get fucked up in the bar. Like, it could just be like, baby, it's time to hit the door, right? And so you need to go with that. You have to accept the evolution of that. And he has to accept the evolution of you being able to do what you do, open relationship, whatever the new shit we on, right? Mm-hmm. Or if we want a man that's going to be able to handle, because this is what I always hear Shorty say, I like a dude who can handle himself. Okay. Like,
I thought you said handle her.
No, that's...
Hey, man, that can handle me.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. But like,
that's a red flag.
That is absolutely.
That's a red flag.
Like they'll say things like, they'll be like a man that can handle himself, you know, protect himself, protect her. And I think that's fine, right? That's traditional. But also traditionally, now you can't control our past. That's why I don't ask who you been with. I don't ask this dumbass question. Yeah. But moving forward, if we're a couple, you have to move accordingly now that we've established ourselves as something. But we live in a society now that say she can do and don't control her. Let her move. But he's still supposed to be all of this in the gym, getting this shit right, hitting the back. Mm-hmm. Fuck that. Let her get her ass beat. If she wilding, you get to the car. I ain't with none of that, bro.
I ran. Why didn't you follow me?
You didn't see me with the Randy?
And I'm assuming y'all don't see that as a red flag, right?
What's that?
Running? Y'all don't see that as a red flag?
What do you mean?
Running from an ass whooping that your girl got you into?
No, I don't run from any ass whooping.
Hypothetically.
No,
I'm not even talking hypothetically. What I'm saying is if that goofy... So let me clarify what I mean by running.
No, I understand it was a joke. I understand it.
Well, not even a joke. No, it's not a joke. I'm being serious. It was just funny. Okay. What I'm saying by running is if she gets you into some shit and you've expressed to her chill, where I'm at my age, because I have 4 boys that I take care of, I'm going to look at her and say, we're leaving. If she's not leaving, have at it. And then I'm going to turn around. And then I'm going to walk away. I'm not going to run, man. My knees ain't that good no more. I'm going to walk. But I'm not about to, because I'm not protecting foolishness. Like, that makes no sense. Exactly. And why would I protect foolishness with a shorty that still DMing, only fanning, and it? Bro, come on. You know how messed up are. Come on, bro.
I wholeheartedly agree with you.
This society is trash, bro. And you're supposed to put up with whatever a shorty want to do. Right. And then if you don't, you know what you are? Insecure.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't that funny?
Who hurt you?
And a narcissist. And you got mommy issues.
Yeah, you got
That's how they talk. All of these are red flags, by the way. If you talk like this as a woman.
And I'm trying to say, how do we deal with bitches like that, man?
Yeah, you don't. You don't.
Oh, bro. Let me end this damn episode right here. I think we got enough.
You don't.
I got my guy Griff with me. I got Hatch, James Humphrey. We'll see you guys on another episode of Real Talk with Real Men. Yeah, that's it, man.
That's solid.
That's solid.
That's solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't. Like you said.
you say you don't, but then you do.
What do you mean?
I don't know, man.
You know why? Because men are visual creatures.
Yeah.
She can be the most fucked up bitch in the world, but god damn, that ass or that,
that's right.
She got that tight, whatever, this, blah, blah, blah. And it's easy for us to get brainwashed. We think, this is another philosophy I got. We got 2 brains. That brain and that brain. They both can't work at the same time. When either this brain's working and that one's off, or that one's on and this one's off. Because you know how I know? Because after you get that post-nut clarity, and you be like, what the fuck was I thinking? Yeah, you know what I mean? Because then that brain's back on. Mm-hmm. It's easy to just, but both can't work in tangent. They tandem. They can't.
And I, my bad, but I think that's true if you're not dealing with a fucking sorceress. And most of these goddamn bitches, or what's that succubus. Most of these heifers are succubus, bro. Jezebel succubus said they got powers. So he's right after the nut, but then after the nut, what she gonna do is lay up on you. She gonna still rub up on you. She gonna do all that. And let's be clear, men are always gonna be subjected to that interaction with a woman because she knows that power that she wields over men. Because to your point, it ain't just being visual. We're physically based on our interaction.
Is that not a red flag?
That a woman does that or us?
Or having the power over us?
I mean, I think it's a red flag. That's a tough one because I think that's a red flag if she's using it for the wrong reason. I think a woman having that and she really fuck with you and she like, because you want your wife to have that power over you. Because let's be clear, if somebody comes up to your wife and about to, they're talking the way you don't like, you want her to have that power over you to keep you from shooting them or something. You know what I'm saying? Because you might be like, I'm gonna hurt him, and then she can do the rub your cheek and, hey, what's that? Incredible Hulk, look at my palm. You want her to have that, right? So I think it depends on how she's using it. It's just a lot of shorties use it for evil, in my opinion, or use it for the wrong reason. That's just like,
yeah, monetize it, whatever.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
that's a fact. That's a fact.
But that's a woman's true superpower is her femininity, man. A lot of women don't understand. They don't understand that it's okay to be soft and kind and nice. Women are supposed to be the opposite of men. We're supposed to be harder, more masculine, more logical. You know what I mean? Where women are supposed to be the opposite, and they think that that's a weakness. If I'm crying, or if they cry, if they show emotion, or if they're too nice or too kind, like that's feminine. Be empowered in your femininity. You don't have to be a raging bitch to be a strong woman. And a lot of women got that misconstrued that I gotta be a bitch to be a strong woman.
And a raging bitch is a weak woman, and that's what so many of them don't get. You're absolutely right. Because let's be clear, to your point, whether it be her or any woman that come in and be like, hey, nigga, go get me some water. I'm going to tell you right now, brother, I'm going to kick this table. I'm going to kick this table. I'm like, girl, you must be crying. You'll thirst. You'll thirst. But if you walk in here and be like, hey, Jay.
Soft voice, all that shit.
Can I get... Hey, y'all talk. Right? It's a power. It's a power. It's a power. It is a power. It is a power. But you know what it is? They don't want that power because they want to mirror what they think. It's that Oedipus complex. They want to mirror what they think is power. Sigmund Freud.
Okay.
Oedipus complex. Yeah. They want to mirror what they think is power. And so, like, when you deal with the Oedipus complex, it's penis envy, right? They talk about a daughter.
Feminism.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the Oedipus complex. It's so in Freudian, his literature, it's about the Oedipus complex. That's
big words. I'm so proud of you.
I don't know why you acting like.
It's the jacket, man. I'm sorry. It's the jacket. You went on with Sigmund Freud. You went on with the study.
You just made the pipe.
I act like I went smart in school.
Kyle Stanley was here. Oh my God.
I think you get in 2 fights in high school. But no, like the Oedipus complex, it comes from that. It's that basis of penis envy. And they talk about like a daughter being like, I wish I was my father because my father has power. His power is generated from the fact that he's male. He's male because he has a penis, right? Mm-hmm. And so women still to this day, that's a real psychological evaluation of why we equate things for so, right? Mm-hmm. Women equate power to manhood to penis, and so on and so forth. Absolutely.
The patriarchy.
Come on, man. All right, bro. Come on. You about to make me throw up. Like all these words, man. Ain't that how they talk? The patriarchy. Hey. Ain't it funny how
they need protection?
No. I was gonna say the patriarchy, right? I'm glad you said that. Ain't that funny how the patriarchy? Excuse me. Ain't it funny how the patriarchy only drafted men the entire time we've had wars? Ain't that funny how they only draft niggas? Man. Why would they draft these bitches? This goddamn patriarchy.
Yeah. I got my opinions about that.
Oh, I mean, it's cool. I ain't ask you to share, but I'm just saying I think it's funny how the patriarchy hates women so much, but it only drafts its sons.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's crazy.
That's a good point.
I just don't understand it.
And they lower the requirements for women than they do for men. Like,
you get an extra 40 seconds.
Yeah,
the everything, so you can
all that.
Ain't that funny?
But you got to carry the bodies on the battlefield. Why are we lowering requirements?
But the patriarchy hates the men. Or excuse me, hates the women.
Yeah.
Loves the men. Huh. That's crazy. Whatever.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It's all fucked up.
But you know what'd be so funny when I talk to a shorty? Anytime I come around a man who's lived a little bit, like in your 30s, whatever, we all talk the same way. I ain't talked to you since high school. Ain't it funny how we all talk the same? Why do we all feel and talk the same way?
We got sense, yeah.
Come on, brother. But you know what they always tell me? I'm talking to shit like, nah, it's because you hurt. Bitch, I'm not hurt. Right. Y'all raggedy. And we all see your raggediness.
But you know what? It's because they don't have the accountability. They can't look introspection. You know what? This is who I am. It's fucked up. I need to change that. It's his fault. It's their fault. It's never their own fault.
What our third red flag was? Self-improvement.
Self-improvement. You did say that. That's 100%. You did.
But that takes accountability.
I'm telling you, man. It's like just say you're sorry. We can just end it right now.
Or when you have self-improvement with the cat, because to this point, it takes accountability to self-improve, right? My thing is, if you can't get to accountability, if you can't get to self-improvement, at least get to acknowledgement, right? I think it goes acknowledgement, accountability, self-improvement. At least acknowledge the situation. Shorties are so trash now. You'll be like, hey, you spilled that milk. She'll be like, that milk been there. Bitch, I watch you knock it over. You didn't see nothing like that.
I can't even blame them, dog. In today's society with social media and all the simps out there, you texting them, "Good morning, beautiful" every day.
It's our next episode of Simps.
Oh, okay. But I mean, like
we might have to do a 4 joint. We might have to add. Well, I don't know how you feel.
What?
We only can do 3.
No. I got the lens on there, so it depends. Well, we can't do 4 in this room, obviously, but.
Well, yeah, we got, yeah. But anyway, I'm saying I like his vibe. Like he mixes well.
Oh, yeah.
Like he mixes well. But anyway, go ahead, bro. Simps.
Yeah, they head get filled up, and you can't really blame them when you got a dude text you "Good morning, beautiful" every day and sending you money and shit. You know what I mean? Like you can't blame them.
Yes, I can.
She's like,
I can't blame a grown ass person for being raggedy.
No, I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but I mean, like, imagine growing up. This is my another philosophy. Like, put yourself in other people's shoes. Why is this person where they are? If you've grown up being, say, if you're the most beautiful girl in school your whole life, you always had shit given to you. You maybe got rich parents. They're gonna have a different way of thinking than somebody who's a little more grounded and maybe wasn't the most attractive, whatever. If you always had that shit given to you, you know what I mean, and you the most like you always, your mind's gonna be set that way. You can't really change that.
Hey James, this has went so well this whole time, my man Grill. Up until we got to this bullshit, because now he caping. He ain't a simp, but he caping for him. And I'm
looking from the outside looking in. Devil's advocate.
I got you. And I respect that. And I hate them motherfuckers. Not you, but I hate that shit. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I remember you back in school. You was always the handsome dude. You was always the athletic dude. Athletic is always built right? You always built. Bitches liked you. You always had to smile. You've always been this. You're just older now, right? Yeah. And you know what you've always done?
What's up?
Fucking hold yourself accountable when something didn't go right. I never forget a time you probably were, because you're a year behind me or 2.
We came out the same
time. We all 07?
Yeah,
oh, my bad. But so I remember one time we were at the gym and it was a deal where like remember not Siegel but the other one, the Ren Gym.
It doesn't matter, we're blanking names anyway, so.
Alright, cool. But what's his name? The one white dude that did the weight training. Dorian. Not Dorian, the other one. But anyway,
so coach or something?
Yeah, he was a coach.
Oh, okay.
Remember, the gym teacher, all white dude.
I'm bad with names.
That's like an all white dude. But anyway, I remember it was a deal. He was over here tripping because we all had went down to the weight room. Whatever. You probably don't remember this. We all had went down to the weight room. We was doing our own thing, but he wanted us to wait because we were supposed to do the little fucking physical agility bullshit that he ended up setting up upstairs. But wasn't nobody fucking with that shit. And so we all did our own weight. Every one of us came back upstairs. It was me, you, Elmer, John. It was a couple other of us.
Yeah, I remember them cats.
And we all had to walk up, and he was like, why'd you do? He was like, hey, shit, we wanted to go lift. You know what I mean? It was what it was. So, like, even though, to your point, even though we all, like, no homo. I don't think none of us was no ugly cats. I don't think none of us was any cats that didn't have the gift of gab, talk our shit. Mm-hmm. But we still always had to be accountable, right? So, like, this idea, because things work out for you, got a good profession that you're doing, a good career, taking care of yourself. I feel like I have a good profession, good career. Still, you have to be accountable for your action in the moment. This idea, but what if you had it handed to you your whole life? I don't give a fuck if you did. You're still a person who knows right and wrong.
Yeah.
You know when you're manipulating somebody. You know when you're taking advantage of a moment. No, you still should be accountable. The problem, in my opinion, starts with their pops. Starts with their parents. That's where it starts. It gives you this scapegoat all the time.
Yeah.
And don't think you gonna scapegoat with me.
Yeah.
Now I don't got that for you, shorty. Yeah. What my man Cube said, all I got for you is hard dick and bubble gum. This ain't my last stick is where I'm coming from. No time for that bullshit.
But what I'm saying, I'm not justifying their way of thinking. I'm just explaining why they probably think that way. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's okay for them, but it's why, you know what I mean? It's like it's a product of circumstances, that kind of shit.
So they're like, I'm pretty, so I should get my way.
Pretty privilege, what they call it.
That's right. But tell me this, like, so if we go back to like the 1700s, that was still a thing. Bitch still knew how to shut the fuck up. So why did the bitches?
Because of the consequences, though.
So we can't hit them no more.
No, exactly.
So you said we need to go back to hit. So you said we. Hold on. So are you on record saying we should go back to hit?
I mean,
don't say that. Don't say. Oh my God, don't say that.
Sometimes you gotta smack them. I'm not saying I would. But sometimes it might be not. But realistically on that, because women know that there's no, like, I'll give you an example. Domestic violence.
He has a point though. Because women feel like there's no consequences to their actions, it prompts them to do the things.
That's because in domestic violence, the cases for men getting abused are far more than people.
Absolutely, you know, I know the same. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, you know that shit.
Yeah, absolutely, you know, I know that's a fact. But this is the problem because we don't ever execute the ultimate consequence. That's the issue. Niggas was smacking bitches in the 17, 18, 19. Well, not us because you know it's different. But like you go late 18 and 19, like we're able to function, do our thing. We slapping shorties because I still want her. I still want to keep her. Yeah, that's what it goes. Because I still want to keep her. No, the ultimate consequence is, bitch, you gotta go. We don't let women go. So the only responsibility I put on us is we never get rid of them.
Right.
Start doing that more often, maybe you'll see. But we can't do that.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We hold on to things we should let go of. No, let her go.
Right.
That's a red flag for me.
That's a restraint. And me too. That one I will say, I hold on to shit.
There we go. There we go. Me and Griff didn't want to be the only ones.
I've done that.
I hold on to
But
shit.
if it's like your child's mother and shit, that it's harder because you are linked. She's always gonna be around. It's not a girl you can just say bye, delete her number, and never deal with ever again.
Yeah.
If it's your kid's mom, I'm forced to interact. I might hate you, but a year later, maybe that hate has eased and we on a better terms.
Sure.
And it's easy to fall back into that trap because she's still around. If it's some chick you just dating for a while.
It's still a red flag though.
It is because it shouldn't be easy.
It's just
because it shouldn't be easy. In my opinion, well, it should be easy because that's human. I get that. But you have to set them boundaries for yourself to not fall into that trap. Because me and Junior's moms, right? I call her Lovey. I have mad respect for Lovey. I also call her a bitch from time to time. It just depends on how I'm feeling. Mm-hmm. But I have mad respect for her because she is a good mother. At the end of the day, I will neither one of us will ever go back to that because that ain't healthy for us. You know what I mean? So he set them boundaries to never do that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the problem. We don't cut them off. Right. The thing that men do the worst of, a shorty will literally tell you your mama a bitch, little dick, bitch ass, bum ass, you ain't gonna never do nothing, mama boy, yeah. They'll talk all this crazy shit, and we'll be like, fuck you, hoe. And then she hit us up, that was a Monday. Hit us up on a Thursday, like, can we talk? Yeah. You know what our dumb ass do? What? Fuck the way. Bang, man, that was bang.
Yeah. But you know that's why, and this is back on the devil's advocate shit. Mm-hmm. Because women are emotional creatures. We as men should not be that way. But sometimes we are, especially black men, because a lot of us were raised in single parent homes, so we encompass those emotional traits from our mothers.
Right.
I mean, you don't have a father in the house. But women are naturally emotional, so they're gonna say the first thing that comes off their mind. They're gonna react to go for the jugular because they can attack you physically. I'm gonna attack you emotionally or mentally to bring you down to how I feel.
And so think about emotion, right? So what we're saying, and this is what we do all the time as black men. So you said they emotionally react. Mm-hmm. So you have so this is what I'm gonna do. So emotionally I could be like, fuck you, bitch ass, fuck that red hoodie, ugly ass, fuck them ways, bitch ass nigga, right? Yeah. Or I could be like, why you do me like that, Grit? You know how I feel about you, Grit.
Two sides
or hear me out. Or emotionally I could be like, why can't we just talk about it more? Mm-hmm. All you have to do is share with me. Or emotionally could be like, you know what, I'm done with this. Mm-hmm. It always goes this way. I just gave you 4 examples of emotion. Right. Why that goofy bitch always gotta talk crazy to me?
Mike is right there.
Why that goofy bitch always gotta talk crazy to me? You see what I'm saying? Right. It's funny how we always say they're emotional, but they always pick confrontation. No, they're confrontational, bruh.
That's a red flag.
That is a red flag. We live in a culture, and it's from the hip hop to the movies to the shows and everything else, the baddies and all that other bullshit they watch. It's not just being emotional, they're confrontational, bro. Because you can be emotional. I named you 3 other ones that have nothing to raise up anger in me. Yeah. Why they always pick the first one?